Let's do a quick rundown of the main card for UFC 211, some of the toughest matchups to forecast because there is a lot of upset potential. I've noticed many people having different opinions on these fights, which is what I love most about the sport. Obviously, that means I'm either going to get a lot right or get a lot wrong because it will come down to very small differences in a few of these matchups. So use your better judgment and understand the risk when using not only my breakdowns, but anyone else's when betting specifically. That being said, let's go through these fights. Main event, I already have a breakdown for this. It's in the description below, or just browse through my videos. Stipe was a Golden Gloves boxer, a multi-sport athlete, a wrestler. He's made a small adjustments since the first fight, but not the ones I was hoping to see. However, since the last fight was close, I still see it being about the same outcome. I'm leaning JDS to pick up a victory in this fight. Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Jessica Andrade. This has potential to be a very close fight. Jessica only needs to push the pace to make it a close one for 3 out of the 5 rounds. She's proven she can go hard for 3 rounds against Angela Hill. If she can shut down that distance by winging hooks, going for takedowns, and constant pressure, she'll either pick up that decision victory or win by knockout or TKO. After some review though, I'm still picking Joanna to win. The constant battering of the lead leg, teeps to the body, elbows in the clinch, they're going to wear on Jessica. We haven't seen her go the distance yet, so we don't know how she's going to perform in the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th after sustaining high amounts of damage to the body and the legs. Her mobility could be severely affected. Joanna's main priority is always her conditioning, upping her volume as the fight wears on, and now that she's training at ATT, her strength and conditioning has definitely improved, and she's added a little muscle to her frame. Jessica will still be more powerful and explosive, perhaps having success with the takedowns too. Both have a great chance of winning this by decision. Both can win by knockout or TKO, but Jessica with a slight edge in that area. And then, of course, the possibility of Jessica winning by submission too. But I do believe the high volume of strikes to all areas, specifically with the kicks. Joanna's very subtle stance switching to lead her opponents into punches, the clinch work, and the conditioning will once again earn the victory in my opinion. But I'm very interested in seeing the outcome of this fight. It could be controversial, but I am going to lean with Joanna champion this one. Next fight is Maia and Masvidal. This fight makes me want to rip my hair out. I've gone back and forth on this one a million times. My instinct was to pick Masvidal, then I watched tape and I went to Maia, then I went back again. There are just so many factors and aspects that I don't even want to make a pick. I like both these fighters too, so it's a struggle all around. It's a fight that I really want to see though. There's one certainty I have about this fight though, and that is Masvidal is unquestionably the better striker. This won't look like Maia boxing with Weidman for 3 rounds if he can't secure takedowns. It'll look much more like Maia versus Rory McDonald. However, McDonald stood with his hips far back, whereas Masvidal stands more upright. The good thing about that is Masvidal will get hit less from Maia's swinging hooks and long jabs, something Rory kept getting hit by, but it's a risk he was taking so that way he could avoid getting taken down. Masvidal will stand upright, move out of the way of those punches, and be prepared to counter. His punches will be more devastating, probably do more damage than Rory's did. Maia could make a jump for those legs and hips at any time and potentially secure takedowns. Maia's conditioning is also something I noticed in several fights as he begins to tire constantly going for the shot. Masvidal has shown time and time again he's the more well-conditioned fighter, and I see that being another major factor in this fight. I'm sad this is only 3 rounds because it does have potential to go past the 3rd. Maia will either win by submission or decision, and I don't think he'll pick up a submission victory. Not to say Masvidal's BJJ is on par or anything, but I believe Maia will have trouble getting the fight to the mat enough times or keep him down long enough to keep working for submission opportunities. I could see a decision going either way, but I think the exchanges on the feet in the 2nd and the 3rd rounds will weigh in Masvidal's favor as he picks up a decision victory. And I'd be lying if I said I was confident that'll happen because Maia has won more decisions than he's lost and he carries 12 submission victories. So the last time he fought someone similar to Masvidal's style, I think, was against Rory McDonald, and that went to decision, and Maia lost the decision. So I'm going to go back with my instinct, and I'm going to side with Gamebred this fight, but I'm very excited for it. It's just a tough one to call, simple as that. Frankie Edgar and Rodriguez, I'll echo my written breakdown in this one. Fighters, coaches, and educated fans alike are going to say the same thing because it's true. Rodriguez's flashy kicks are largely ineffective, and same can be said about his BJJ off his back, and his top game is nothing to brag about. It's getting better, his game is getting better, but Edgar is going to neutralize him with shots in the pockets, potentially drop him when Yair's guard is down, which it often is, then work top control on Yair for 3 rounds if he doesn't knock him out. Time and time again, Edgar proves why he's at the top of the game. Many people point to the fight with Jeremy Stephens and the kick he landed, which is not a good indicator of what's going to happen in this fight. Edgar will probably win this fight by decision victory. Unlike some, I don't believe Yair is like the template fighter of the future. He will fight in the future. He could be a champion, but fighters of the future will have more discipline and proficiency in the standard areas that complete an MMA fighter. Comparing Edgar's boxing to Yair's, Edgar is miles ahead of Yair. Yair doesn't exactly have footwork. His length gives him the ability to strafe in and out of range with a few steps, while the rest of his footwork is usually spent throwing kicks. But that length is very interesting in this fight. We haven't seen Edgar fight anyone who uses that length like Yair does, and the last time we saw Edgar fight a style even similar to Yair's was either Swanson or Henderson. Much more Henderson than Swanson. Edgar likes to circle in either direction, and Yair will look to cut the cage using kicks that meet Edgar in the direction he's moving. Those spinning kicks will be difficult to catch as well. On the mat, Yair is opportunistic, so he could potentially find something in the scramble, as we've seen Edgar caught in a few guillotines here and there, though never finished. However, that opportunistic style leaves plenty of openings for Edgar to pass guard, land strikes, take the back, and win the fight. This is one of those fights that will be figured out within the first minute or so. I am siding with Yair Rodriguez in this fight though. The high volume of kicks at range, the length and the reach, and the explosiveness are going to be the variable in this fight, and I'm curious to see how Edgar controls that. It's going to be fun. I think volume wins this fight, and I think the volume does favor Yair, and I'm picking Yair to win by decision. Finally, we get to Jocko versus Branch. Branch making his way back over to the UFC after a successful stint in WSOF. I'll keep this short because I'm not that interested in this fight. Branch likes to take the center of the cage, come out quick, and establish his range and jab as early as he can. He uses a lot of upper body movement, and that's more of an offensive tactic, it seems, than a defensive one. He's strong, likes to press his opponent against the cage. He uses his power and his size, and he's fighting at middleweight against Jocko, where he's also competed at light heavyweight and heavyweight. So that'll be the key thing to look at in this fight. Will Branch's size, strength, and power be too much for Jocko? If it is, I expect Branch to win by decision. However, Branch's stand-up style is somewhat like Brad Scott's or Scott Askins, and those were both decision victories in favor of Jocko. He's a dark horse in the middleweight division. He's younger, and he's probably been facing competition that's either on par or above what Branch has faced in the WSOF. So I think the fight goes to decision, but Jocko works well on the outside. I think he uses his reach better than Branch, and I think he's going to be a hard target to hit. So Jocko by decision. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, let me know what you guys are picking here for the main card or the whole card. It's up to you, but enjoy the fights. It's going to be a great weekend.